In all my years of blogging, I think some of the best pieces that I write come from personal experiences that I share with the audience, whether it be victories or failures. I definitely want to share my experiences and then tie it in with what God has to say to my fellow single folks about this whole navigating singleness, dating relationships, and preparing for marriage. So one of my favorite posts that I wrote for my girl Winnie Caldwell's website, The Wire Hanger by Winnie.com, was about navigating the emotional highs of dating. Now I had an experience and I can testify that dating can play with your emotions if you let them. Man, emotions are rough out here, especially if you haven't dated in a long time. At this point in the game, I can't tell you the last time I went on a date, honestly. But I think all that is going to change in 2018. I'm just putting that out there in existence. I'm speaking it, but let's go back several years to a date that I went on that had me on such an emotional high. I was a hot mess, and God had to come and get me before I messed myself up. You guys, you do not want to miss this episode. We're talking about navigating those emotional highs of dating so we don't get caught up in the game and lose ourselves and lose our focus when it comes to dating God's way. All right, so stay tuned. It's going to be a great episode. This is Tatianah Green, your host for Journey Through 30. After a long time can be kind of a challenge because you say what you want, you imagine what dating is going to be like when you get back in there, but when you actually get back in there though, it's a little different. And in some cases, it's totally different from what you expected, especially perhaps if you've been in a relationship for a long time and then you just got out of a relationship, or you have been intentionally living this single life, trying to get yourself together, try to focus on God and things like that. And God has opened a door for you to go out on a date with someone. For those who are in their 30s and plus, I'm telling you, I've heard, I've witnessed that is not that easy for us ladies who are in a particular age group. And when it comes to dating, especially in this generation, this day and age, it seems like the stereotype is that men don't know how to date. I'm thinking we need to know how to navigate our emotions, for one. And two, we need to be very clear about our standards and not settle for less. And unfortunately, that happens anyway. So I'm going to talk about the former, the emotional highs of dating, and how and why that could become a problem, especially in the beginning stages when you're just getting to know someone. So let's take a step back and I'll tell you all a little story. Grab your popcorn, get your libations. It's going to be a journey. All right, so I was it was winter season too. So it's right in the thick of cuffing season. And I was like, Lord, I just want to go on a date. Like, I want to go out. I want to get treated really nice. Like, God, hook me up. And don't you know, God will answer your prayers if you really about that life and you have enough faith to believe He will definitely put that work in there for you. Or He'll just tell you no and tell you why. But for me, He was getting ready to take me on a journey and show me some things about myself in this process. So I met someone through mutual friends, and he asked me out, and we set up a date. It seemed very cool and very textbook. Like, the guy asks you out, gets your number, sets up the date, picks you up, takes you out, pays for the date. It seemed very good. 100% textbook. I can't complain. In fact, what made this guy stand out from other guys that I may have dated or been in relationships with is that he was intentional about praying before the date. Like, he prayed before we left to go out on the date. He prayed for the food. And we even prayed together like towards the end of the day. I thought that was so cool and very impressive because I desire to be with a man of God who knows how to pray. You don't have to be like overly spiritual, but I just need you to have your relationship with God because that's important to me. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have your value system in order. So that's what he valued. He valued prayer. He valued communication with the Father. Cool. So I'm already impressed. We're not even at the date venue yet, okay? So we're riding in the car, it's playing this music. We get to the date venue, a restaurant, and we're just enjoying conversation. And you guys, I'm telling you, like, I haven't been at that point when I went on the date with this guy after praying to God, like, Lord, I want to go on a date. I haven't been on a date in like over a year at that point. So I'm thinking as I'm sitting across from him, going over my relationships prior, I was like, man, I never dated a guy like this before. He's different. He's cute. He can pray. Girl, he paid for the date, most likely. Because we weren't done with the date yet. We were just talking. Like, he's perfect. And that's when my little flesh starts to pick up and say that he's perfect. And I was like, oh, Lord. Thinking back on everything that I just said, I'm like, really? Really, Tati? Really? But anyway, I'm telling you, these emotions, they get out of order and it's steered all the way to the left when you're trying to go right. So emotionally high date, meaning that my emotions were trying to take over my mindset and keep me distracted because I was trying to get information from this guy. When you're on a date, you want to get data. You're seeking information about this person to see if you all are compatible and perhaps suitable for each other in a place that's beyond friendship. Like if you want to be more than friends with somebody, you might want to know some of their interests that are going to be showing up in the long run when you enter in a more committed relationship. So while he's talking about whatever he's talking about, I'm thinking about he's perfect. We could get married next year. It'd be great. God's will. Woo! You know, you just make all these wonderful things in your mind. And ladies, I am not the only one. Don't put me out there like I am not alone. Don't do me like that. You do it too. And that's why this episode exists, because we do this thing. I've seen it in television and in movies. I've talked about this amongst friends and colleagues. Like, look, this happens. It doesn't mean that you have to get caught up and swept up in those emotions. So when you're in that emotionally high place, you just want to overlook certain things like red flags that could become a problem for you down the line. If you are emotionally high, you're going to not think soberly about the decisions that you're making with this person moving forward because you're so thirsty and desperate that you're willing to take whatever because your emotions are getting attention. Listen, I know y'all, it feels good to be wanted. It feels good to be pursued. It feels good to be desired. But if it's not the person God has for you, then you're going to miss what God is trying to share with you. I'm sitting there emotionally high, trying to keep calm. I could barely eat. I couldn't even eat my food, and I love to eat, y'all. Especially, I'm not afraid to eat in front of I'm a man. Are you kidding me? But in this date particularly, I was just distracted emotionally to the point where I didn't even want to eat a lot of food. Crazy, right? So the Holy Spirit was telling me throughout the date to be cool. You know how you have your relationship with the Lord to the point where his spirit can minister to your spirit in ways that you understand. He's like, be cool, girl. Like, calm down. Like, you're doing too much. Like, I don't know what your Holy Spirit tells you or how he goes about telling you, but mine told me in that moment to be cool. So looking back for me, the emotions were distracting me and they were reminding me of the emotions that I had that were allowing me to jump to conclusions about this guy, to just assume that he was just so perfect, that he was great, that I need to go on a second date with him because everything's going well so right now. It was loneliness, it was anxiety, it was impatience, and quite frankly, it was pride, because all those things were creating this cocktail that were contributing to my behaviors that were not necessarily the best on a date. I mean, we're not going to all be perfect when we go out on these dates. That's why you want to go on more than one. You want to get more information from the person or whatever. But I was just distracted, man. I wasn't doing what I could have been doing. And so God was helping me out in the process. And what I want to side note with that is what I didn't tell you guys before the guy even came to pick me up for this date. I decided to pregame for my date. The world calls pre-gaming like, drinking before you go out to go get some more drinks. But when I say pre-game before your date, I mean you want to take a knee and talk to the Father one-on-one. You taking it to the Lord in prayer like, Lord, it's been a minute. Your girl wants some, or your girl needs some attention, affection, and I need you to keep me. Sometimes you got to keep it just that real with God. Can we keep it real on this episode today? My prayer was I don't even remember what I prayed for. I know I just prayed before the date, before he came. And I am grateful because it allowed God to show up. You basically want to invite God in your conversation with this gentleman. You want to invite God in your conversation on the way to the date. You want to invite God in your mind so that you don't be overwhelmed with the wrong thoughts. And so as I remember leaving the date or at the dinner table, we were getting up to go leave. One of the things that God told me was that this is the bare minimum. Just the basics of what you deserve. Stay focused. And mic drop. Yes, the Lord told me all of that right there. He said, this little dinner right here, him take you out, pray for you. This is basic. All right. Stay focused. And I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, the Lord just tried to treat me. But he sobered me up. For real. He sobered me up in that moment. And that definitely helped me put things in perspective. Like, you're right. I am God's daughter. I am a child of the Most High God. I deserve the best in life. And I'm not trying to be bougie or create some ungodly high standard that no man can reach. It's about knowing your worth, knowing your value, and demanding that treatment. And if someone doesn't treat you the way you deserve to be treated, matter of fact, the way you want to be treated on your date, then you have every right to not go on a date with that guy again. Just because you may have emotions or these little feelings, you got to put that on the back burner and look at the facts. Are they respecting you? Are they doing what they say they're going to do? Are they consistent? Are they faithful in, talking to you, reaching out to you, setting up the dates, showing initiative? If you're going to excuse all those things because of your emotions, you're going to get caught up in the game and you're going to lose. You're going to play yourself. And ladies, at this point, we really don't have time to play with that. So I definitely recommend do what you need to do, sober up, and know your worth before you go out on these dates with these men out here, because these men are crafty. They lie, they steal, they're doing all kind of stuff. We have to be ready. We have to. So one benefit of dating, though, is that God reveals to you yourself and your interaction with others. So maybe you knew that you had some anxiety about being single, or you had some impatience in general in life. Maybe God is using this dating moment, this dating season, to test you in those areas where you need to improve with him one-on-one. Because sometimes he just uses people to show you who you are. And matter of fact, you're going to have that as well in marriage. God willing, if you and I marry, our spouses are going to be mirrors, and they're going to show us what we need to change about ourselves in our relationship with God. It is not us changing for our spouses, it's us changing for God. And God is using our spouses as that catalyst to make that change. So in your dating season, you'll experience some of that as well. And you need to be in tune with God about what he's trying to tell you. He's like, girl, you is not listening to this man. All you're doing is running your mouth and not letting him talk. Like the Lord will tell you about yourself to the point where you're like, man, how come I didn't know about this myself before? But that's what dating is all about. You're testing things, you're getting to know each other. You're also getting to know yourself in relation to someone of the opposite sex in a romantic aspect. I was at a good place. I had a good date, but I realized that I was emotionally high on the date, and I had to let the Lord bring me down to sobriety. You can become blind and deaf to what they are doing and what they are saying on these dates, what they're doing and saying when you guys are in your talking stage. You want to be careful and discerning. Your emotions will lie to you, so you want to trust your spirit. Be in tune with the Lord every day, and especially on these dates, because He wants to be in tune with you. He wants to give you the secrets to this man. And for some people, some of us ladies, you may be a dreamer. He may reveal to you stuff about a man in a dream. He may reveal stuff to you in a message. He may directly speak to you. Whatever way God gets a message to you, be on alert, because He's not going to have His daughter just out here with a guy. And He's not going to give you any secrets. He's not going to tell you anything about this man. He's not going to tell you to guard your heart. He's not going to tell you to be patient. He's not going to tell you to be quiet so you can listen and let the man tell you his business, so you figure out if that's someone you need to be with or not. Come on now, ladies. Again, turn those emotions down some and turn that discernment up so you're ready for what's next. And so that leads to the scripture for today that comes from the Songs of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 7, about not awakening love before it's time. Do not awaken love before it's time. The Bride of Solomon telling her ladies in her group, her squad, her family, whoever she was talking to, she was letting them know, like, ladies, love is cool and everything. Marriage is wonderful, something that many of us aspire to have. But do not force this thing. Do not rush this season of life. Do not awaken love before it's time. And so I would share the same thing with you, because we could call our emotional highs and our crushes and our infatuation and our lust, we could call all those things love when it's not really love. It's all those other things. So you need to understand what love looks like from God's perspective. And He makes it clear in His word. He shows you what it is. Love is patient, it's kind, it doesn't hold grudges, it doesn't hold faults, it's not prideful, it's not out here trying to take advantage of you because it knows you've been dateless for a while, or it knows you're a woman over a certain age. Love is a protecting kind of love. God's love protects. God's love is pure. God's love is holy. God's love is consistent. God's love is something that we can definitely achieve, okay? We can definitely receive it right now. And in our relationships, you can work on that by doing that yourself, by developing that godly love, giving it to other people, and praying that the Lord will send you a man who will love you the way that you deserve to be loved, the way that He loves you. You don't want to be that person who jumps the shark and jumps ahead like 4 years down the line when you all are married and on kid number 2, and creating these scenarios in your mind like, you just met him, you don't know him, y'all not gonna get married tomorrow. Relax, be easy, be cool, take your time, ask the right questions, pray, pray, pray. So I could talk about this all day long. I love talking about singleness, dating, and relationships from a godly perspective, because that's what I've been writing about for years on my blog, blissforsingles.com. So you can check out my website and view other blogs about these topics and share your feedback on what it means to be emotionally high while dating. Have you had those experiences before? Have you excused your date's behavior because you had emotions for him? Let me know in the comments. I definitely want to hear from you regarding that. So I don't want to keep you all too long. This has been a great episode already, and I'm so excited to share this with so many others, because we need to help each other out. It's cuffing season. It's wintertime. People are coming up in your DMs out of nowhere. Exes may pop up trying to take you out like, nope, not doing it. That's another topic for another day. But when you do enter your dating season, be open, but also be sober. Put your emotions on the back burner. Be friendly, okay? Be godly, be holy, be smart, be wise. Ask the right questions. Get to know him. Create a space where you can be his friend instead of trying to be his wife like right away. Work on that friendship part first. Trust me, it'll work in your favor if you do that. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My information's in the description below. And make sure you subscribe. I definitely want to get my subscribers up for the new year because I'm sharing awesome new content. And I asked my friends on Instagram, y'all want to see me in my face, what? On video. So the more subscribers I get to this channel, the more videos you will get from me. I promise. All right, so that's all I have for you today about the emotional highs of dating. This is your host, Tatianah Green, and you've been listening to Journey Through 30.